Twitter has dropped a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security. The suit was filed after DHS officials issued a summons demanding the company reveal who was behind an anti-Trump account. The account, called Alt Immigration, criticizes the administration's immigration policies. CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reed is in Washington. All right, Paula, so what was the government's justification in wanting to unmask this account in the first place?
Vlad, they didn't really give a justification. I've read the specific request that Twitter received from the government, and it didn't really provide any indication as to why they were targeting this specific account. Now, the fact that they're making this request, it does suggest that the government believes this account and the information that it is tweeting out is legitimate and somehow a threat. It seems that it was a warning sign to accounts like this that they're coming for you.
So why did the DHS withdraw its demand to find out who's behind these tweets?
Well, they knew they were going to lose. So once Twitter filed that lawsuit, and they really should have anticipated that Twitter was going to push back aggressively based on what we saw previously when the government took on Silicon Valley over the phone of the San Bernardino terror suspect. It essentially forced the government into retreat on that lawsuit. They really should have known that Twitter wasn't going to take this one lying down, wasn't just going to pass off this information. Ultimately, it's good publicity for Twitter and for tech companies to push back against this kind of thing, particularly when there's no crime related to what's going on, to prove to people that they're not working for the government and that they will protect the privacy of their customers.
The ACLU, we just put up a tweet that they tweeted that this was a victory for free speech, but could cases like this pop up again? And what might happen if they went to court?
Yes, I think that they're in retreat, but it is very likely that they're going to continue to use every means at their disposal to unmask these accounts. And we also know that the federal government, via tech wars, are going to continue. The government will continue to pursue through the courts, since they haven't been able to get any legislation. They are going to try to pursue ways to try to get some sort of precedent so that they can break encryption on certain devices. Law enforcement consistently says it's one of the most difficult challenges in their job right now. But as we saw the last time the federal government took on that issue, not only did they not win, it was sort of a spectacular disaster for the Department of Justice the way they handled it. I mean, they were literally forced into retreat and had to find a private contractor to crack a phone after they swore in court documents that there was no other way to crack the phone except for Apple giving them the code.
Right. And there are a lot of these alt accounts, Paula, so just how far does the First Amendment extend to protect anonymous speech?
They're really well protected here. The Constitution grants broad protections for anyone engaged in political speech, political dissent, even if you do it anonymously. In these cases, especially for the accounts that say that they are someone on the inside, anyone operating an account like that, leaking information out of the government or sharing information out from any of these agencies, they have good reason to be worried about retaliation. So they're going to have broad protections under the Constitution as long as they don't call for violence or in any way incite violence.
So, Paula, what's interesting is when President Trump first took office, he promised to crack down on leaks coming out of the White House. Is there any indication that this account is run by someone in a government position? It's something that I think about all the time when I'm looking at these alt accounts. Is this somebody working in the White House or in the government?
We don't know who this person or these people are specifically. They have not identified themselves. We have not established that they are people inside the government. We do have sources who have told us for other accounts have verified the fact that those are people who have knowledge, who are working inside the government. Of course, Vlad, it's also kind of funny because we know that the president uses Twitter. It's one of his preferred methods of communication. And it is kind of funny, sort of ironic, I guess you might say, that this so-called resistance is using his favorite platform to troll him on a daily basis.
Paula Reed in Washington breaking it down for us. As always, Paula, we thank you.